guys, it's Chelsea, the wannabe Hecate, here today for episode 4 of Analyzing Celebrity Birth Charts. Today we're going to be talking about Winona Ryder. Winona is a very famous actress. You have probably seen her in Stranger Things. She plays Mrs. Byers, Will's mom. She's also well known for Heathers, Edward Scissorhands, Dracula with Gary Oldman and Keanu Reeves, and of course Beetlejuice. Lydia Dietz is my spirit animal. If you've kept up with Winona Ryder over the years, you know that she has had a couple of legal issues. She dated Johnny Depp for a period of time. They were a very hot item. So Winona has Scorpio Sun, Pisces Moon, and Sagittarius Rising. That's going to make up her big three. It's very interesting that she has a water, sun, and moon, and then a fire rising sign, since we know that water and fire as elements are technically kind of opposite. We already know a lot about Scorpios as a sun sign. We know that they're very intense. They will throw themselves totally into anything they do. But you can't get a Scorpio to commit to anything. They have to decide to commit to it on their own. You can't talk them into it. They've got to come to the conclusion, and you just got to let them take their time. Scorpios never skim the surface. They are all about what lies beneath. They're reluctant to trust, but once they do, they are very loyal. Winona's sun is in her 11th house, the house of friendship and community, group activities. So this is going to make her aim to treat everyone as an equal. It's going to make her very fair-minded. When people have the sun in the house of friendship and community affairs, their identity tends to be linked with a larger unit rather than just themselves. They have a very magnetic appeal, very popular and easygoing, which if you watch interviews with Winona Ryder and you kind of have an idea about her, you know she's very charming and she does seem to be very easygoing everywhere she goes. If you have sun in the 11th and you're all about those group activities, you want harmony. So these people they don't want to rock the boat. They're peace lovers. Winona has a Pisces moon, and the hallmark with Pisces moon people is that they always have their own little world that they like to retreat into and escape from reality sometimes. So Pisces moons are not necessarily always very in touch with reality, but they do express themselves very well creatively, which Winona does as an artist and an actress. A Pisces moon tends to have a very silly sense of humor, and they may tend to let the emotions get the better of them. Pisces is also one of the more compassionate and sympathetic signs in the zodiac, so if you have Pisces placements or a Pisces moon like Winona, you're very able to put yourself in anyone's shoes. Winona's moon is in her 3rd house. The 3rd house is going to be the house of communication, but it also rules over your siblings, short trips. Having moon in the 3rd house makes Winona think very emotionally, and it makes her have a strong imagination. It also gives her a talent for languages or imitating others, which she's an actress. Moon in 3rd house people may feel restless. They may tend to travel a lot. Like I said, just little short trips, because that's what the 3rd house rules over. Moon and 3rd house people also tend to make a very good impression with the public. Winona's rising sign is Sagittarius, which probably makes her restless and always looking for a new challenge, always looking to the horizon to see what's coming next. She's going to value freedom a lot and be very honest and upfront with other people. Sag risings tend to like to read a lot. They like to watch the news. Sag rising people also care deeply about injustice, and this is also going to be further reinforced by Winona's sun in her 11th house. Like I said earlier, it makes her very fair-minded. So she's overall someone who just wants to treat everyone equally. Sag risings generally like things very simple, and they really only care about money if it's going to bring them independence. Winona has Scorpio Mercury, which if you just watched my Mercury Signs 101 video that I posted last week, you know that Scorpio Mercuries like to read between the lines a lot. They see anything that is hidden. They don't skim over things. They want to get to the heart of it and figure out the truth of the matter. Scorpio Mercuries tend to speak very passionately. They're also very good at strategizing. The crux with the Scorpio Mercury is that they can be very stubborn because they're just in love with their own ideas. Winona's Mercury is over in her 11th house with her sun, the house of friendship, group activities, community involvement. This makes her very curious about other people, so it makes her very adaptable to other people, very good at making friends. She probably has a lot of friends, a very large social circle. These friendships do have to be based on an intellectual rapport though with Mercury, since Mercury is the planet of mental energy and thinking. Mercury in the 11th house is also going to make Winona like beauty and the arts, and it's going to make her tend to look on the bright side of life and be more of an optimist. Winona also has Scorpio Venus, and as we talked about before, Venus is going to be the planet of love, how you act in relationships and one-to-one partnerships. When Venus is in Scorpio, the person who has that is going to be very intense in love and very willing to commit. They're very loyal and focused on the people they love. Sometimes this can almost be like they're being possessive, or they can get jealous just because they're so focused on you. When you upset a Scorpio Venus, you know it. They will either give you a look or they will absolutely blow up. If it sounds like I'm speaking from experience, it is because I have Scorpio Venus. Winona's Venus is also in her 11th house, partying it up with her Sun and her Mercury. Now, as I've said, the 11th house is the house of friendship, so Venus there, the planet of love, is going to make her value her friendships a lot. It also makes her very tactful and diplomatic, though. So like I said before, she's very good at keeping the peace because she likes to have harmony in her group. Since Venus is the planet of relationships, though, it's also going to make her have to have a genuine friendship before she can sustain romantic interest in someone. So she's got to be friends first. The new astrological term we're going to learn in this week's episode of Celebrity Birth Charts is square. So when two planets are square, they are 3 signs apart, or 90 degrees. Winona has a square between her Scorpio Venus and her Aquarius Mars. This is worth mentioning because it makes her very highly creative and drawn to express that creativity, which we see in the fact that she is an artist and she's an actress. She's very famous and able to put her art out into the world and express herself creatively in the way that she needs to. Winona has her Mars in Aquarius, which is an air sign, a very mental sign, which is going to make her all about mental and intellectual pursuits, since Mars is the planet of our goals and ambitions and how we go after them. Mars and Aquarius people are very clever when it comes to getting what they want, and they have really good perseverance, so they have the patience to see it through. Winona already values freedom a lot with a Sagittarius rising, and this is going to be further strengthened even more by having a Mars and Aquarius. Mars and Aquarius people are very content to just let other people do their thing if they're going to let them do their thing. They need space to be themselves, so they'll give you the space to be yourself. Winona's Mars is in her 2nd house, which is going to be the house of material values, possessions, just money in general. This makes her work very hard for her money, and she is very capable of earning a lot. I believe Carrie Fisher also had Mars in the 2nd house. We did her on episode 2 of Celebrity Birth Charts. When you have Mars in your 2nd house, since it's such an aggressive planet though, you can also have a kind of careless hand with spending. You have to be careful of spending too extravagantly. The 2nd house also rules over what you value, like moral-wise, or just what's dear to you. So when you have Mars there, an aggressive planet, you're going to defend those values very passionately. Winona has her Jupiter in Sagittarius, which is going to even further strengthen the fact that she just really values freedom, not only like space-wise, but like freedom of expression. The Jupiter in Sagittarius may also give her a knack for extravagant spending, like I mentioned with her Mars in the 2nd house, but Jupiter and Sags tend to have a lucky way of like attracting money, or just are very smart and creative at ways to get money or make money. Winona's Jupiter is in her 12th house. It's a very enigmatic house in that it represents like karma from your past lives, or your own self-undoing, your secrets and your dreams. Having Jupiter there, it gives her kind of a humanitarian streak, but she still values her alone time, since the 12th house is more of a inward, introspective house. We learned the term conjunction a couple episodes back. A conjunction is when 2 planets are in the same sign, and Winona has a couple conjunctions in her chart that I wanted to mention. Her Jupiter is conjunct her Neptune, which makes her enjoy the arts a lot and also makes her very generous and altruistic. Her Jupiter is also conjunct her ascendant or rising sign, Sagittarius, as we talked before, which makes her very pleasant, compassionate, makes her like meeting friends a lot and have a large social circle. Winona has her Saturn in Gemini, which is a pretty comfortable place for Saturn to be in. She's going to have a very sharp mind, since Gemini is the very intellectual sign that's all about mental energy. Saturn, however, is a very old and wise planet, so when it comes together with youthful Gemini, you get this really cool combination of like wisdom, but also an almost like childish desire to learn, a high curiosity. When you have Saturn in Gemini, it is said that you may have had a difficult childhood and experienced loneliness at an early age. And when I was reading about Winona getting ready to do this video, I read about how she was bullied in school because people took her for a very effeminate boy, and she struggled with that. Even after she did Beetlejuice, she thought that being in a movie would help, but they were still very mean to her. I can't even believe Winona Ryder. And how do you think those people feel now? Anyway. Winona's Saturn is in her 6th house, the house of work, health, your daily routine, day-to-day matters. This makes her a very steady worker, very serious about her work, always seeking continuity in what she's doing. Good perseverance skills, which she already had with Mars and Aquarius, so it's just going to be strengthened even more. When you have Saturn in your 6th house, you're very ambitious in a deliberate way. You're going to get what you want. Hope you enjoyed my little TED Talk about Winona. It wasn't very spicy, but I do have some other episodes that are planned coming up that I think are going to be really good, and I'm excited about doing them. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you ever have questions about, you know, personalized tarot or astrology work for yourself, please feel free to comment, send me a DM on another platform, shoot me an email, whatever. I've made some really cool friends through doing tarot through email and doing my birth chart interpretations that are only $10. What? Did you hear about that? But yeah, that's about all I have to say. Look what I got today. This is number 112. We go all the way over here. There's more over there. There's some up there. I will talk to you guys soon. Tell your friends about me. Love you, bye.